I'm Dr. Trent Growthman. I'm a professor of business at the Harvard Business School, and today I'm going to teach you about the importance of yoga to the aspiring entrepreneur. One question you might ask is, why yoga? I have a yoga mat, and I have a flute. So let's start this off with one round of Om played via the flute. Everyone take a deep breath in. Okay, do you feel centered? Yoga means a whole bunch of things. There's the yoga we know in the West, which consists of moving around doing dumb postures on a mat. West, D yoga. D for dumb. You know, you got a guy or a gal, hips are in the air, you know, my butt is here, I'm doing this thing, and my shoes are over here with everyone else's shoes in the cubby. Other people behind you with their butts in the air. People trying to replicate dogs. This is a Western D yoga. Western D yoga. And then you have your Western R yoga. R yoga. R for, let's call it relaxation. Similarly dumb, you know, they're on their backs. One of them might have their leg kind of to the side. This guy has his arm up here, but he's still on his back. And then you got the instructor who's like sitting cross-legged. Western R yoga. We're gonna talk about Western G yoga. G yoga. We're not gonna get into Eastern D, R, or G yoga today. That's left for another session. But Western G yoga, the G stands for one of several things. Most notably, the G stands for, in our context, the one we care about most, growth. Such as growth in your business, growth in your mindset, growth in your bank account. But just like G from like G-Funk stood for gangster funk, the G likewise in our Western G yoga can stand for gangster yoga, and it can also stand for, like we said last time, we were talking about the G in terms of musical notes. So this could also be a G note, you know. So we have three different definitions for G: the note G, growth, and gangster. Let's first talk about growth. Yoga is all about extending yourself as big as possible. You want to feel like you're growing out of your body in this instant. And that's the feeling that all entrepreneurs want to be feeling like all of the time, 100% of the time. So in yoga, you might do something like this, where you're like upside down, your hands extended, and your foot's in the air, and then you're like grabbing your foot, and you're trying to make yourself essentially as big as possible. Your muscles are extending, your limbs are extending, your bones are extending, and you're reaching for both ends of the room. I'm trying to touch the edge of the blinds here, and I can get it. I can get it because I've practiced a lot. Let's write that down. Extending in every direction. At all times. Times. So we have arrows all over the place. Times. The entrepreneur does the same thing. The CEO does the same thing. 100%. You know what percent means? 100 out of 100 of the time, you need to be thinking about how you can extend yourself, how you can grow, how you can be a gangster. And in this context, that could mean literally touching people from afar. You might be in a meeting. I usually don't sit like this in board meetings, but sometimes if it's a power move and I'm really trying to exercise my dominance over the conversation, I might sit like this. I might even just kind of put my leg into my hand and try to touch my head. In a meeting, we want to be literally extending our bodies. This is like a boardroom meeting chairs here. Even if you're not seated at the head of the table, this guy thinks he's head honcho over here. If you're all the way at the other side of the table, you know, you're in this chair, you don't want to just be sitting like a normal sheep. You don't want to be sitting like a normal run-of-the-mill business person. You have to be upside down. You got to be extending. You got to extend your reach. How are you going to get all these people to notice you? You're not going to do it through your ideas. You're not going to do it through your voice. You're not going to do it through your amazing good looks, even if you had them. I presume everyone looks good at this meeting already. You can't bank on that, is what I'm saying. However, this is something that you can train for every day. This is actually how I do most of my work. Most of my lectures, really. I mean, lectures, let's be real. You haven't seen me give lectures to my students in person. Typically, I'm in this position with my students that way where you are, my feet in the air, and my hands on the ground. And there wouldn't be a chair here, so maybe we could even get rid of this chair. This is how you train and cultivate a gangster growth business mindset. Is you gotta be lecturing with your feet. It's not enough to lecture with your eyes, with your hands. You gotta be lecturing with your feet. If you're not red in your face by the time you finish telling people about the importance of your product, why they are fools to go to your competitor down the street's inferior version of the toothpaste machine that spits out edible toothpaste flavored gum that you're trying to produce. There's no way they're gonna think about choosing you over him if you're just there trying to look pretty, standing up like a normal human being. Here's an exercise. Exercise number 1. Next time you're in a meeting, do the entire meeting with your foot higher than your shoulder. Foot above shoulder. Foot above shoulder. That might mean you're on the ground. Like, you might have to be on the ground. If you can't do this standing up, get on the ground. There's no excuses. So this is the growth and gangster mindset for business. If you want more tips on how to drive more money to your business and succeed and dominate your competitors, follow my channel. I'm Dr. Trent Growthman of the Harvard Business School. Wild Eating TV is my channel. Let's end with the sound of one flute ohm.